Hello. What the?
Oh, here, wait. Let's go to here.
Oh, that all looks right, unless there's a mute button on there.
Because this is...
Chris?
Yes.
Chris,
What?
look at the underneath of your microphone.
Oh my god.
We're professionals! We're so professionals!
Jesus Lord.
Yay! Wait, hold on.
Because I was like, this isn't registering as your microphone picking up anything. We're probably going to have to close Audacity and pick it back up again.
Nope. Choose it to keep it.
Well, no, I don't know that it'll record.
Oh, it'll record. Oh, it's recorded. Like a motherfucker. I'm the dumbest
so mine
asshole
is picking
on the
up
face of the
now.
earth.
Great.
Is mine picking up?
Yes.
Mine's picking up. Yay! I'm such an idiot.
I mean, you're not bright.
I love that I didn't notice that. I love that I thought that your mic was my mic, and so I totally thought you were an idiot.
Yep.
Such a jackass. What a dickhead. Alright. Hold on, I gotta... Now? How about now? How about now? Now? How about now?
Yeah.
Now?
Yes.
Welcome again, everybody, to the Media Lunch Break, bringing you all of your comic, geek, and movie news, all in the time it takes to eat a good sandwich, and with any luck, having a fresh baked brownie. I'm your host, Chris Tribbles. Alongside me, as always, is my co-host, Andrew Dunn. Say hello, Andrew.
Guten Morgen.
That was very, I don't know, somber sounding. I mean, it's German, so it's always somber sounding. But yeah, what's going on?
Not much. Lots of news.
Is there?
Yeah, on my end, because I did my work.
I know. I'm so impressed.
I'm going to edit in fanfare right here.
You should. You should edit fanfare, and the national anthem.
People cheering.
Just chanting.
It's going to be very good.
Awesome. Yeah, there's not much. I didn't have a... You know what? You want to just get to the... I'm trying to think of anything.
What would we have done without me, Chris? What would we have done? We would have a 10-minute episode.
Yeah, I'm sure people would really be upset about that. After the hour-and-a-half lunch breaks we've been giving everyone. I'm sure them and their bosses would be very appreciative of one 10-minute lunch break.
That's true.
Yeah. Shall we get right to the news?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got a few things. As always, I've got a little bit of Marvel. I've got a little bit of DC. What do you want to start with?
Star Wars.
Too bad! I want to... Actually, what do I... Hold on. Maybe we're gonna...
Man.
No, you know what? Do you want to start with Star Wars?
I don't want to break tradition.
Well, that's too bad, because I want to start with Star Wars.
Okay.
No, yeah, actually, I do want to start with Star Wars.
Good
Let's
lord.
start with Star Wars? Let's start with Star Wars.
I want to do whatever you want to do, Chris.
Oh, I've been waiting my whole life to hear you say those words, Andrew. My whole life.
Yeah, I know. Only known each other for like 6 years.
Yep. So, Lucasfilm and Disney have come out and said, officially, we talked about this actually last week. We floated this as an idea. But they have officially said there will be no CGI Leias.
They will do that to Kenny Baker, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, they'll totally CGI the hell out of him. But no CGI Leias for episode 8 is fully filmed, but no CGI Leias for episode 9.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we talked a little bit about it last week, but I mean, remind me of your feelings on this.
Yeah, well, we were sort of on opposite sides, I think, because
Right.
I was saying that definitely not, like, the most respectful thing to do. And you really, I mean, Kathleen Kennedy, if anything, has been respectful to the fans and what the fans want.
Yeah.
Where Lucas has sort of gone, I mean, both of them almost to a
Gone
fault.
completely mad.
Well, yeah, but both of them almost to a fault. George Lucas said, never mind the fans. I want to do whatever I want to do to a fault. And Kathleen Kennedy, nearly to a fault, has said, well, let's give the fans exactly what they want, almost to a fault. But I think if you do what the fans want, you just lay her to rest.
Yeah, it's not that I'm disappointed that they won't CGI her. I think definitely it's the right call.
Are you disappointed that you won't see Leia in another movie?
I'm disappointed I won't see Leia in another movie. Yeah. I said this last week, I don't want it to the extent that they did what's his name? Tarkin in Rogue One.
Yeah.
I don't need her to be a central figure in episode 9.
Yeah.
And that you do it to that extent.
Right.
I love one scene or one moment that I see her and then I know she's either there or not there or gone or dying or dead or whatever. Just to give me some sort of sense of closure.
Yeah.
Because I think that, seeing all of her in episode 8, and now, for all I know, she was gonna die in episode 8. Like, for all we know, episode 7, 8, and 9 are killing off the original 3 one at a time. And that was the whole idea from the beginning, to give the new guys some room to breathe. That could totally be so, and they're just not saying it, so they don't spoil the plot. But I have a feeling that's not true. I have a feeling she was supposed to stay throughout all 3. And so to see her complete in episode 8... unless they do some sort of alteration of the plot, which again, with it being completely shot, it'd be a magic work of editing to do that.
I do think though that, speaking of Tarkin, the technology is really good, but it's just not there yet.
It's not quite there yet, and that's why in small doses I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but even I don't know that there is a small enough dose. Like for me, it's basically you start from seeing the person for the first time, and then everything after that just gets worse and worse and worse. And
well, I think back to the scene in Ant-Man, the first scene in Ant-Man with Michael Douglas.
Sure.
That was really good.
But they had Michael Douglas.
They did have Michael. You're right. That's
the reason the Robert Downey Jr. one is so good in Civil War too. Is they had Robert Downey Jr.
because they had the actual person. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I think that in small doses, it works, or it works well enough that I'll go with it. Tarkin,
it didn't.
It worked for me. It worked for a while, and then after a while, it started to take me out of it. I started to go, "This is a really well done piece of technology." Yeah. But that being said, I'm not supposed to be thinking about that.
Well, and for me, Tarkin was, I think at his worst at the beginning, like at the very beginning when we first saw him, I really was not into it, and as it went on, I sort of warmed up to it. But
yeah, I know what you're saying, and so I go back and forth on. I can't definitively say I would like to see a CGI Leia.
Yeah,
I just want to know. I just want to know that the finality of that character is going to be handled in a way that's going to feel satisfying. But you're right. I trust Kathleen Kennedy for the most part. They have, and really, I can't even think of something that they've done to service the fans that hasn't kind of paid off well.
Yeah.
George Lucas, you're right. He said it doesn't matter what the fans think. Although, in his defense, and I'll say this over and over again, Star Wars is his creation.
Yeah.
So for a company that bought Star Wars, they should be servicing the fans, because otherwise, why'd you do it?
Well, yeah, certainly.
Whereas George Lucas goes, well, I don't care what the fans think, and everyone goes up in arms, and I'm like, well, it's his thing.
Yeah,
he can do whatever he wants.
I usually, basically with any other artist, I would argue that that's the right way to do it.
Right. But he took it off a cliff.
He tried it for 3 movies, and it clearly wasn't working.
Yeah, so, again, it's kind of too soon to tell whether I'm happy about
this is something that I think they should do in 60 years with the new cast. By then, hopefully it'll be good enough that you won't even be able to tell. But as it stands right now, we're just right on the edge of that line where it's just almost human, which is so unsettling.
Right. Do you think in 30 years, we'll get the special edition episode 9 where they edit in Leia as opposed to whoever is taking over Leia's spot in episode 9.
Well, now that it's taken out of the hands of George Lucas, probably not. But I was joking about, I was wondering when we were going to get the redone episodes 4 and 6 with the new Mon Mothma.
That'd be actually amazing. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, you said you got a couple, so we can go back and forth.
I got some good stuff. It's Stan Lee's 75th anniversary at Marvel this week,
Ooh!
which makes him, let's see, okay, so he said he started when he was 17 and a half years old. 75th anniversary makes him roughly a jillion years old.
Yeah, he is super duper old.
Yeah.
He is completely old.
He's 94.
He is the most spry 94-year-old I've ever seen in my life.
You know, he applied for a job there as an assistant for Jack Kirby.
Did he really?
And he went in and he was 17 and a half years old.
Yeah.
He went in, he walked in and he said, "Hey, do you have a job available?" They said, "Yeah, we need someone to rewrite some of these. We like the storyline, but we need the dialogue to be a little better.
Right.
You think you could handle that?" And he said, "Sure." And then I think less than a year later, Jack Kirby and his the other the guy that also headed up Marvel at the time, there were two of them, and they both just quit. And so all that was left in there was Stan Lee.
Right.
And the publisher called up and was like, "Hey, do you think that you can head this company up and be in charge just for a minute until we get an adult who can run it?" And he said, "Yeah, how hard could it be?" And they never found an adult.
Yeah, and it just kept going.
Yeah.
Which is kind of brilliant. And he has one of the best philosophies on comics that I've ever heard in my life. The reason that a Spider-Man comic or something has, or at least it used to have, that brief synopsis of who Spider-Man was and how he got his powers and everything at the top of the comic is because because Stan Lee said every Spider-Man comic is someone's first Spider-Man comic, which is such a great idea of, comics is a medium that you can jump into the pool anytime you want. It's always going to be there. Just jump in and we'll catch you up. And, if you really like it, you can go back and get other issues and things like that. I don't need to talk about why comics are great. We're on a nerd podcast.
You all know.
But you know what I'm saying? I love that philosophy that person took, especially back in that day when, publishers didn't really think about their audience all that much except for the bottom line.
Yeah. I mean, everyone just wanted that money.
Everyone just wanted, if your character didn't really work, they weren't going to give it time to grow or to find an audience. They just moved on to the next thing. If capes and heroes weren't doing it, they moved on to westerns. They moved on to that sort of a thing. So he was one of the first ones, I think, to really kind of hunker down and say, no, we gotta be good to our audience, and we gotta be welcoming to anyone who wants to get into this and not shrug this off for what we think it might be.
Another interesting point is he says he gets asked all the time when he's going to retire.
Right.
And he says, well, it's an interesting thing is this is what I would be doing. If I worked as a mailman for the past 70 years, I would probably retire and then try to get a job writing stories.
For
comics.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And
he said some people collect stamps, some people play sports.
Right.
I write comics.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really want... I'm sure there are people out there. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are like, this is the dumbest idea in the world. But I really want some kind of a climax for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, at least for the Infinity Gauntlet. Are they calling it Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War? Why do I want to say Infinity War?
Well, the Infinity Gauntlet is
in the new Avengers. Anyway.
Oh, you're talking about the name of the movies?
The movie,
The Infinity Wars.
It is the Infinity Wars, right? I really want some kind of a climax where Stan Lee turns out to be God. Or the one above all, I guess is what the Marvel.
Sure. Or any of the entities. I mean, Infinity, if you're going to have the Infinity Wars, Infinity is a character.
Right, exactly. And have just one of the... I think want
Death's brother.
Yes. He's Death's brother. And I just found this out. Speaking of the one above all, that idea is supposed to signify whoever is in charge of Marvel Comics. Did you know
really?
that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so the one above all, for people who don't know, is the Marvel Universe's idea of God. He or she or it controls everything that happens in the universe across the multiverse. There's nothing that happens that they don't know about. And people always think, which God is it? Is it a Christian God? Blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people have really just speculated, that the one above all, the true identity, is whoever the chief editor of Marvel Comics is. And because they can see everything that goes on in the multiverse. Which is a fascinating idea. Yeah. Anyway, Stan Lee, good on you.
Yeah.
Stay alive for another 95 years.
Yeah,
why not?
At least.
And if you can't, we'll just preserve your brain.
We'll just CGI you into all the Marvel movies.
CGI you into everything. So, what else we got? Oh, some Black Panther news just came out today. They're gonna be... Part of Black Panther is gonna be dealing with his American education.
Oh.
In the 1990s. There was somebody on set. Marvel asked for a 1990s era model public transit bus.
Oh.
And they're talking about how the part of the movie is gonna deal with his American education at St. Mary's College High School in Berkeley. So we know we're getting a little. It's interesting because we don't know a whole lot about this movie, but we know we're now getting a little bit of past. We're getting a little flashback or something, or prologue of some kind. So, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
Yeah. What else you got?
I got something interesting. So, according to The Guardian, the European Parliament has urged the drafting of a set of regulations to govern the use and creation of robots and artificial intelligence, including a form of, quote, electronic personhood, to ensure rights and responsibilities for the most capable AI. And in unrelated news, I need to step into my basement for a few minutes and I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. Do you need some help down there?
You know what? I got it. I think I'm good.
Are you sure?
You know what? I can probably just do it from this app I have on my phone. It'll be fine.
I could check the canned goods for you or anything like
that. No, it's fine. I'll check it later. It'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, that's...
They're gonna make laws for robots.
My brain just shorted out from hearing that news.
Yeah.
That's I can't even process that.
No, this evidently started because of tax purposes. Like, they're trying to make it so that, like, if a company tries to...
Which is also a person.
It is. In America. This is England. This is Europe. So, if the head of a company tries to fire all of its employees and replace them with robots, there is going to be someone whose job it is to come in and assign, this is a robot, and they are taxed, I think something like 70 to 80 cents on the dollar of a person. So, like, it doesn't seem to make too much of a difference because the CEO would still be saving money by switching to robots.
Right, but they would be saving less money.
Right, than just, replace. But here's the other thing, too, is that this sort of seems like, could you make an entire, like, is a factory... Like, is a Ford Motors factory one robot? Because the whole place is a program.
It would be... No. Because it's one... But I don't think it's one central conscience. You have machines and they do a specific job.
Right.
But they're... It's all lined up to run smoothly so that you can create one product. But the machines don't run on one... central consciousness.
I think they do.
No, they run separately from
I don't think so. I think
they're individual machines.
I mean, maybe, but I would expect that
you might be able to program them from one central mainframe.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily one central conscience.
Consciousness?
Consciousness.
Conscience.
Yeah, conscience. I know. I'm gonna. Okay. Listen, everybody. I'm gonna fuck this up several times. Then we get used to it.
Then we get into the definition of consciousness because I don't think that robots currently have consciousness.
Right. No, and I don't think the robots at the Ford factory also have a consciousness. But God, that is really annoying to say. Fuck you for bringing this news item in. But what I'm saying is they don't all run. Like, if one shuts down, the whole factory doesn't shut down. They would have to be...
Well, sure, they're not Christmas lights.
Which should also have their own bill in Parliament. Well, no, but that's what I'm saying is that you said if someone comes in, how would you differentiate between one robot and another?
Okay.
That's how. Like, if one shuts down, just that one shuts down.
What is one? But okay, then, if there's, a robot with an arm and the arm breaks, is that arm a robot? Like,
No.
you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you're saying. Yeah. At what point is it a piece of a robot, and what point is it a full robot?
Right. Is it one robot? I will gladly pay you Tuesday for one robot today.
I think, like, if the arm breaks down...
Mm-hmm. Like, is an arm a robot? Like, if there's just an arm that puts things on?
I'm going to say no, because something is telling that arm to move.
So do you think...
So I would say that's a machine, and a robot is the thing that is telling the machine to move.
Okay, so you could have...
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I disagree with that then. I mean, I think that's a perfectly logical way to do it, but then I think it sort of negates this whole thing, because you could have a robot that is just a central desktop computer that controls a bunch of arms in a place that does the things you need it to do.
Yes.
You know? Whereas it would need, like, if you had people doing that, it could be hundreds, thousands of people.
Yes, yeah. No, I agree. Listen, I'm not disagreeing that...
How are they going to be able
How are
to
they going to do
this,
this?
you know?
Well, they're the British Parliament.
They can do whatever they want. That's
true. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And you can sit on your arse. That was the worst dialect I've ever done.
Pretty good.
/heard.
I mean, Ireland's in Europe, so you're good.
Well, that's okay. So that's fascinating.
Yeah, right.
No, it is actually. It is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's nice to see a story where you can pinpoint the end of humanity, like right there. Like, oh, this happened.
That isn't an election.
Yeah, that isn't an election. When you look, when Skynet takes over, we can look back at this moment and we're like, oh, that's where it happened.
You know what's funny that you bring up Skynet is I've been saying since the election that either Donald Trump's election is proof that we never developed time travel, or it's proof that someone does.
It's true. It's very true. Okay, so what else do I got? Oh, I got this one. In another story that I swear to God people actually listen to this podcast because it's an answer to the exact issue we were talking about last week. Ben Affleck came out and said, no, trust me, I'm definitely directing Batman.
Oh, he's out. He is out.
Just by that certain language, you can tell he's not in it anymore.
2 weeks tops.
Yeah. He's like, guys, everybody calm down, internet.
Yeah.
I'm definitely directing the Batman. Just give me a chance. He did comment that one of the challenges he's gonna have to build a different Batsuit to direct Batman, because he's like, I can't just stand around in this suit. I'm gonna be sweating my balls off all day. You can't turn your head.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. It's really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Usually, if you're playing a superhero, you do your thing and then you just shove off and you go in your trailer and you take it off and you he's like, I gotta be there for like 14 hours a day.
I don't know why they brought back the lack of turning head. Because that was that way for decades.
No, I think I'm a liar on that. I think he can't actually turn his head. But
in the most recent one, he's back to the chest swivel in Batman vs Superman.
Is he?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's slightly better, but we went from being like, completely like a mask made out of resin.
Yeah. He can move some of it, but they have to edit out the wrinkles that it causes. Because it is like... It is kind of like the Keaton.
But even when he says, like, I've only seen the trailers or whatnot, what have you, but when he says, like, I thought she was with you, he, like, turns his whole body to say that.
I think that's just because he's so bulky on top now. If you see him,
his neck muscles don't allow him to turn his head.
Yeah, he can't even, like, just... he'll topple over.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
Someone help me up.
It's astounding he can even stand up.
I mean, people say the same thing about me most of the time. But that's usually because
that's due to
drunk.
mental problems.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody calm down. He's definitely directing the Batman. I say that's good news because if for no other reason, listen, if you don't think that he's going to do a good job directing Batman, one, you're wrong. Secondly, just think of it this way: if he doesn't do it, they're going to get some jackass to do it, and that jackass is going to be bad.
It's going to be you.
It's going to be me. They're going to get me to do it. You know why? Because I'll do it, and I'll do it for not a lot of money. I'll do it for, like, no monies.
Which is exactly why you'll be doing it.
I'll do it for a Hershey bar and a smile. I don't even care. Like, I'll do it. If they're like, do you want to direct the Batman? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, all right, we're going to pay you whatever you could get out of the vending machine by reaching your hand up into it. I'd be like, great. Apparently
sold.
I'm directing the Batman for a pack of Pop-Tarts and Juicy Fruit.
Where do I sign?
Actually, a pack of Pop-Tarts and Juicy Fruit. That's not too bad.
It's not bad.
That's
You
a
could do
good
worse.
deal.
It's probably what they're giving Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that's probably.
You ready for my next thing?
Yes, I am ready for
All
the
right,
next
so we saw John Boyega on the set of Pacific Rim 2. He's wearing his new Jaeger pilot suit.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Well, I think maybe he should change his name to John Boy That Suit Sure Looks Bad.
Jesus Christ, it does look bad. I mean, I don't know what's worse, that suit or that joke.
It was amazing. I spent all day writing that joke.
Did you go through several edits?
Yeah.
Can I hear what the first draft was?
Man, that suit sucks. That was the very first one. You can see why I had to
I can
edit
see the
it.
progression now.
Yeah, good.
It's really, the progression's really
So
good on that joke.
I haven't seen Pacific Rim.
You've never seen it?
No, it's on my list.
It's really good.
Yeah, I've heard that. Well, I've heard it's Guillermo del Toro, right?
Yes.
That he was like, people were like, why did you do Pacific Rim? I mean, it's great, but why did you do it? And he was like, well, I always wanted to do a monster movie, so I thought now's the time to do a monster movie.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing because it really just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like there was no, you watch this movie and you go, and you're waiting for that based on credit.
Yeah.
And there's no based on credit. It's just Guillermo del Toro went, let's take giant robots and giant monsters and let them punch the shit out of each other for like 2 hours. And you know what? Just because I'm a good filmmaker, I'm going to give it a whole lot of backstory. But like great. Like like Ron Perlman's in it and he just plays it. Like there's a whole subsect of society that...
Is Idris Elba in it?
Idris Elba is in it.
Wow.
He's the guy who says the thing...
He's John Boyega's dad in it.
Yes, I believe that's true.
Yeah.
Yes. He says the thing about today we postpone the apocalypse or something. He is like the big...
Today we celebrate our Independence Day.
Yeah. It's really kind of amazing. And it just jumps right into it.
Yeah.
Like they have like 2 seconds of a portal open and the monsters came through. And then it just flashes through to like 10 years later or something. They're just like, that's what this world is.
Like there's
now.
some 4-hour long version of this movie and the first hour is exposition. And
Yeah.
they were watching the dailies and he was like, yeah, we don't need
just
that.
cut it. It's fine. Yeah. They seriously spend, I think, no more than 2 minutes explaining the whole thing. And it's really boils down to, there's a giant portal and every once in a while it opens and monsters come through and then we got to kick the crap out of them.
That's good storytelling, man.
Yeah,
you don't
it's
have
great.
to explain stuff.
Yeah.
It just has to make sense if you try to explain it.
Yeah. And it's really kind of brilliant in that way. Maybe I'll assign it to you at some point.
Yeah, that'd be
I'd have
great.
to find
I'd love to see it.
where to see it. I mean, I could buy it and then give it to you.
I could just find it
or
as
make
well.
you-
Just
yeah.
tell me when you
Yeah.
just tell me when you want me to watch
That's
it and I'll make it happen.
You know what? Just pause this and go watch it now. It is really good. And I am looking forward to the sequel. It is one of those universes. I'm amazed. He built an original universe that is so in depth that I'm like, yeah, I want to play in this a little more. Cool. So, Peter Dinklage joining Infinity War. Did you hear that?
No.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, Peter Dinklage moving from one Marvel property to the other.
Sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a Fox property.
I mean, they still count.
Yeah, but it's interesting that, I mean, have
he's going from Fox to,
Have we had people jump ship before?
I'm sure there are
Very
some that
rarely.
have gone...
Because we've had DC.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
a bunch that have, you can say, have walked between two worlds as far as DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
The only... One of the few that have gone from Fox to Marvel that is Chris Evans,
Oh, sure.
who played Johnny Storm and now is Captain America.
And we've got another one who played Johnny Storm, who is coming to Marvel as well.
Yes.
in
So if
Black
you
Panther.
want to get into a Marvel movie, play Johnny Storm.
Well, yeah, you have nowhere to go but up.
That's true. But he is now going to be a part of Infinity War.
Great.
They don't know who he's going to play.
Do you think they're going to do a similar thing that they did with X-Men, where he's going to play, like he's not going to portray someone who is traditionally a little person? Or do you think he's going to be an Ewok or something?
Somehow I feel like that's offensive. And yet, I guess technically it shouldn't be.
It's more to be offensive at Hollywood.
Yeah,
that,
no,
like,
that's fair.
Do you think he's gonna? Do you think they're gonna treat him with integrity or?
Well, that's kind of the question on everybody's mind, because they don't know who he's playing. You're right. He could be playing kind of a Martin Freeman thing where it's a nobody, it's a complete nobody, or with it being Infinity War, there's a couple of characters he could play on Thanos' side through motion capture and voice work.
He'd be great at that.
And everyone's wondering simply because there's a few that he could play.
I think he'd make a great Thanos, actually. We've already got Thanos.
He would make a great Thanos. But there's Pip, which is a member of the Infinity Watch. And things like that. So everyone's wondering, like, are they just going to make him really small and give him one of those parts? Or are they going to actually give him a real part?
Well, in X-Men, his character was, like, he played a character who had existed in the comics before.
Yes, but who was not a little person.
Right.
They didn't care.
Yeah, which is the way to do it.
That is the way to do it. And so everyone's that's what everyone's wondering.
Yeah.
Are we going to get something where it's just a little person playing this part and it doesn't matter what it's been in the comics? Or is it going to be, is this casting him specifically for him?
Yeah.
Which at this point with Peter Dinklage, you're casting Peter Dinklage because he's Peter Dinklage.
MODOK.
I think MODOK has been No, they haven't said it might be MODOK. No,
I'm sure they'll never do MODOK. Not. I mean, never say never, but they won't do MODOK.
They'll do MODOK.
Yeah, but
in fact, by never say never, you really mean it's definitely going to happen just sometime.
Yeah, well, that's sort of what I mean. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to go on for the next 40 years, so.
Eventually they're going to have to do MODOK.
Yeah, I give it until they cycle out the current string of heroes, and they'll probably bring them in.
Who would you want MODOK in? Like, which franchise would you want to see MODOK in?
What franchise? What hero would he fight?
What hero?
He's traditionally Iron Man's.
Right.
But I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of someone who'd give him a run for his money, because usually in the comics, MODOK tries to fight Iron Man, and Iron Man just like wipes the floor with him. But like Thor would be just as Thor would just as easily beat him. The Hulk would just as easily beat him.
Yeah.
Captain America probably wouldn't have that much trouble. All I could think was Nightwing. What's his name? Not DC. Nightwing. What's his name? The other one. Hawkeye. My favorite comic.
Yeah. Black Widow, sure.
I mean, that would be a great like if we ever
get a weird pairing.
Well, if we ever get a Hawkeye Black Widow movie,
and we really should.
But and Black Widow should get her own movie. But MODOK is basically just like a floating arsenal. So it'd be interesting to see like a woman who is very highly trained in hand-to-hand combat and a dude with a bow and arrow go up against a flying tank.
Right. Oh, you know what? Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Let's give Nick Fury a movie.
Yeah.
And make MODOK the villain.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be interesting.
I can see that.
A one-man arsenal versus a man with a large...
Versus a one-man arsenal.
Versus one man with an arsenal.
Yeah. That would be great.
I think that'd be an interesting...
Yeah. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
That's the Nick Fury movie.
Yeah. Nick Fury should have his own movie.
He does.
If you're talking about the David Hasselhoff
I
thing...
sure am.
Oh. Beautiful.
So good.
So good. You're up.
All right.
What do you got?
Well, there was recently a live. Do you know what Twitch is? It's an online community. It's sort of like YouTube, but it's for people who I forget what the technical term is, but they play video games and people watch.
I do know what this is.
So
it
Twitch
took me a second. At first, I thought I knew what you're talking about, and then I realized I was thinking of something else, and that was Tinder.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Except one has much uglier people on it.
Tinder.
Sure. So Twitch, they did a live stream for charity.
What?
Yeah, so they did like a whole long thing where they streamed a whole thing in front of 200,000 people. At the same time, they were in an auditorium while they were playing the games that they were playing.
Sure.
And I don't remember who it was or which channel he was from, but there is this thing that trolls do. Are you familiar with the character Waluigi?
Is this the Wario version of Luigi?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
So people really like Luigi online, and they like him because he's obscure and strange, and Waluigi is just as obscure and just as strange.
I actually love Luigi.
So there's this great thing that people are doing that's actually not great, it's horrendous, where they will just like yell out sounds that Waluigi makes. Like,
what the fuck are you talking about?
There's this thing that like people on the internet will do that. They'll like, it's hard to explain. I can't teach you everything about the internet in one day, Chris. But anyway, while they were doing this,
what is the internet? What are you talking? What is this thing?
Listen, we'll start our lessons tomorrow.
I'm so confused.
So while they were doing this in front of an entire auditorium of an audience, you know, hundreds, presumably thousands of people. Presumably tens of people.
I'm just laughing now at the idea of hundreds, presumably thousands of people watching. No, thousands of people playing the video game?
No, watching.
No, watching
in the audience.
Other people play video games.
Yes. Well, and the point is...
And how many people are playing the video games?
I mean, anywhere between like 1 and 8.
So thousands
generally
of people
speaking, the point
are
is
watching 8 people.
Usually like 1 to 3. Maybe 4. But no, it's look.
Thousands of people are watching 1 to 4 people.
Laugh it up, Normie.
Play video games.
Listen, it's an interesting thing. In fact, Twitch recently...
Did they have to use an auditorium because they couldn't fit everyone into that guy's basement?
Probably, yeah. It's very popular. Again, they had 200,000 people who were watching from home.
Is it because his mom couldn't provide enough juice boxes for everyone?
I don't think they drink juice boxes.
Is it
I think
because
it's usually like Hot Pockets and Doritos.
Damn it, I was going to do the Hot Pockets one next. Why did you steal that from me?
So anyway.
Anyway.
So they were streaming this. It's actually a really interesting thing. In fact, Twitch a few years ago did a thing called Twitch Plays Pokemon, where they let their community members all play the same game of Pokemon. So at any given moment, you had 10,000 people playing the game at the same time. And you would do it by going into the chat and saying up or right or left or down or A or B. So everyone was putting in commands at once, right? So you would think this would be some sort of crazy, chaotic thing.
Uh-huh.
They beat the game in less time than it took me to beat it.
Okay, hold on. Number 1, ego. Let's not make it sound like you're the ultimate gamer.
No, hear me out though. I'm one person who has the ability to make decisions. Imagine 10,000 people.
I will grant you this. You are one person.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
That's the only part of that
I have a news article in here. Like, I haven't actually gotten to the news thing yet.
Okay, sorry. I thought this was the news. This is all backstory for this?
Yes, I'm trying to
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give you won't stop interrupting me. I'm just trying to give you backstory on what Twitch is. So it's an online gaming community
where people watch other people play games,
right? And these people will like talk about the games and maybe give walkthroughs or just offer some sort of funny commentary. So they did one for charity where they showed a bunch of people. It's for I think for like preventing cancer or something, right?
Right.
But when you invite the internet to something like that, it's not going to end well.
No.
So maybe like a person probably at some point started doing this, but someone started mocking the people on stage by making Waluigi noises and yelling like "meh" or whatever, and then another person, and then a few more people, and eventually there were tens of people just screaming into the
Waluigi sounds.
Yeah, while these people were like trying to talk or whatever. So I wrote down the exact quote of what the Twitch streamer said to the audience, and I'd like to recite it for you. If you want to prevent cancer, consider standing out in front of the shuttle that's running in front of the hotel. He told a bunch of people to go kill themselves.
In order to prevent
cancer.
A disease that kills people.
Yep. And it's for charity. Like, it was a charity event.
Oh, nerds.
And he was like, go kill yourselves.
Love it. I love our community so much.
The internet is a wonderful, scary place.
It so is. It really is. And according to the British Parliament, it's a person.
Do you have anything else, or would you like me to finish this?
There is...
I've got 4 more.
Holy Christ.
I told you, I've got a lot.
Do I only have one? I only got one more thing, so go ahead. Do another one.
I'll do another one. So, Cable, in the upcoming sequel to Deadpool, it's been made clear that he will be mysterious because they don't have enough time to get in his whole backstory.
I did hear this, yeah.
So that's interesting. They still haven't cast the actor yet, and they're trying to write this character without knowing who's playing him, which is going to be strange.
Yeah, so I actually did read this story. They're kind of writing it. They're kind of half writing the character because they want to be able to write whoever they get. They want to be able to write his voice really well.
And they have to trust as well that whoever they do get will be able to make it their own.
Why are we stop beating around the bush and just cast Stephen Lang and get over it?
I know. Well, it's because
I don't see what the problem is.
He doesn't seem to be even on the short list,
which is ridiculous.
I know.
He wants it. Everyone wants it.
I don't know. Well, I don't know that everyone does. Most of the ones I've heard are I've heard John Hamm a lot. Which I could actually sort of see, but
I kind of see it.
But
Stephen Lang seems again. You look at Stephen Lang, he looks like
Cable.
He looks like he is,
and he's a good enough actor. He's a great acts actor. Like Cable in most of the movies that he's in.
Yeah,
but whatever.
But yeah, I did hear that they're making him mysterious because his backstory in the comics is so
intricate.
Intricate is one word. I mean, someone actually said, "Look, his." Backstory is really convoluted and you can't follow it anymore.
Yeah.
And
it's probably for the best too. I mean, for starters, he'd have to be the long lost son of James Marsden, which, And
who knows where that character is in this universe at this point?
I
mean, honestly,
we saw him once. I mean, pretty recently. He was.
He popped up in Days of Future Past.
Yeah,
but that's where they left it. Like right at the very end, they're just like, "Oh, he's alive again," but they didn't really.
Yeah, I hate it when movies have sad endings.
Brilliant. Love it. I'm going to leave it on that one. This is my last thing. Warner Brothers has 2 writers for the Green Lantern Corps movies.
Oh, nice.
That are coming out.
Wait, who's doing this? Marvel, you said?
No, DC.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah. But it actually has... We actually have 2 pretty good writers. One is
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yep. And the other is
me.
Great. Wonderful. There's no way that this could go wrong. One is Justin Rhodes, who I'm trying to figure out exactly what he's done. Nothing important. But the important one is David Goyer.
Doesn't ring any bells.
David Goyer helped craft the Nolan Batman series.
Yeah, all right. Good choice.
What else has he done? I'm going to kick myself because I know David Goyer actually by name and I can't think of anything else he's done.
Actually, it does ring a bell.
Hold on. I mean, he also wrote Batman v Superman and Man of Steel.
Oh, yeah.
But he did The Dark Knight,
Constantine,
Blade,
The Unborn.
Blade 2, Blade Trinity.
All right.
Dark City.
Okay, yeah.
Son of a bitch, he did Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. with David Hasselhoff.
Well, perfect.
See?
Yeah.
And you were afraid of what this could mean. So we've got screenwriters. They've also said that it's definitely going to feature both Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Jon Stewart traditionally in the comics is his backup.
He looks just like Jon Stewart from The Daily Show.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes. He's recruited as Hal Jordan's replacement for a little while.
Yep.
And then he's kind of like his partner or his backup or something now. They have a couple of humans. But in the comics, he's an architect. But in this one, I think they're changing it
to General Badass.
Well, he's a Marine sniper, so yes.
General.
So General Badass.
That's his name.
So, I mean, I think it's great that they're including both. It gives each one someone to play off of, at least.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives the fans exactly what they want, no matter where you came in.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan is mine. Jon Stewart is yours.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Guy Gardner's is everyone.
Sorry, Kyle Rayner fans. But yeah, I mean, listen, that's who I'm really waiting to hear if he's in or out is Guy Gardner.
Yeah, I mean that's the one.
I don't need him in the whole movie.
Well, that's the thing too.
Just put him in there somewhere.
Just in the universe, because the DCEU, their biggest problem right now is a lack of humor.
Yeah.
And man, that guy's
that
where
guy
it's at.
is awesome.
Just now, I don't quite know how his personality has held up so well over the years, because you would think that with trends,
right,
you'd get sort of sick of him, but he's not like a Jar Jar Binks character who was cool in 1998. You know.
Well, that's the thing is, I think the kind of character he is, the kind that thinks that he's cool but really is not.
Yeah, that's sort of timeless.
That never gets old. Like watching him.
Yeah, I mean that goes back to Commedia dell'arte,
right,
where they would have the soldier or whatever who thought he was this great man.
Yeah, and just watching him, run face first into walls will never stop being old to anyone.
Definitely.
So it's like I said, I think if they don't end up including him, it's going to be it's going to be a bad move for them.
Agreed.
That they're not using all
so they most certainly will leave him out.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What else you got?
All right, I got 3 more things.
Let's do it.
Nintendo Switch will drop March 3rd, as will my second mortgage.
Yes. So talk a little bit about the Nintendo Switch.
So Nintendo Switch looks really cool. I was actually just talking to my girlfriend about this the other day, that I don't know how we can improve on this in the future. Mm-hmm. This looks like, in my mind, and this is a closed-minded thing to say, but I've never felt this way before about a video game console, this looks like the end. Like, I can't imagine anything we can do to improve upon video gaming. What
makes it look like that?
Sure. So, have you ever played Skyrim? Do you know what Skyrim is?
I know what Skyrim is.
It's a very, very vast,
I don't think I've ever played it.
Huge game, right? Like, it's probably the size of a major city that you just walk around on foot,
right,
and just doing things, and thousands of quests and people and animals and dragons.
Right. It's just an open
different
box.
Races. Yeah, you can do just the combination of things you can do with millions of things.
Right.
With this console, and they have announced that Skyrim will be one of them, and it's the same game. It's not like, because Skyrim is the Elder Scrolls V, so this is going to be the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, same game. You will be able to play at home on your console, on your television, while you are playing the game. If it's time for you to go, your bus comes or whatever, if you're a kid, or like it's just time for you to leave, you take your controller, hook it onto a sheet on the console, lift it out of the console, and while still playing, you have pulled a handheld device up. And it is no longer, you don't have to turn it off, you don't have to hit any buttons, you just pick it up off the console and leave your apartment. You play on the train, and then you come back, and when you're home, you're still playing. Maybe you pause the game so you don't miss anything. You stick it back in the console, sit on your couch, and continue the game.
Combined with the report that you have from Great Britain, this is the end. Yeah. I'm calling it now. This is it. Listen, between artificial intelligence and now we just have them, we never have to leave our screens.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, we already never do, though. We're always on our phones. So.
Yeah, but there is a brief, like, at least with that, like, it's not one continuous motion. Like, there's a point where you have to, like, turn it off.
Yeah.
And go, like today, on my way over here, I was watching Netflix.
Yeah.
And I have Netflix on my phone, I have a tablet, I have Netflix on my tablet. Yes, I could stream whatever I was watching on that. However, in between those two things, like, I have to turn one device off. Yeah, it's not seamless. I have to turn it off, do whatever I gotta do, turn it on, turn the other thing on, and get it loaded.
Log in or whatever. Yeah, you gotta open the app.
There's a part of me where I'm in the real world.
Yeah,
sure. I am present, at least partially.
Well, and this game, just like this console, just like their previous ones, is going to be more centered on multiplayer. You can play with up to 8 people.
Right.
In fact, the handheld controller splits off into 2 different controllers. So if you have the handheld game with you, you can literally take apart the console that you have, hand someone part of it, and you have the other part, and you can play a 2-player game together.
See, that's at least good, because I think that part of the problem that these things do, and I'm not trying to sound like an old person or something, but it does become very insular. Yeah. You're always on the one thing.
And that is something that Nintendo's been, I mean, that's the whole point of the Wii. It gets people up and moving.
Yeah. Whenever people complain that everyone's always on their phone or they're always texting and not talking to each other, I mean, the one argument I always say is, like, listen, even though that person is texting, there's someone on the other end of that.
Yes, I always say that as well. This is the most social we've actually ever been.
Right, because we're always talking to people.
Yeah.
It's not that we're never talking to people. Yeah. We're always talking to each other.
Until Facebook is replaced by AI, that won't happen.
But I think the worry for this thing is that because it's now a continuous motion of like, I never have to leave this ever.
Yeah, but you will. I mean, that's the thing, is that we just have to trust in humans, because you will.
I mean, I do, like I said, the thing I was getting to is I like the idea of being able to split that off and play with someone else. Yes. So it does at least become interactive.
And if there's another person, right, and if there's another person who has one in your group, you have 4 controllers.
Right. And so that's at least good. Like, the more...
The more, you're having interaction.
Yes. Absolutely.
And another thing you can do with this console as well is if there are 2 people who have it, you can literally sit them next to each other. You can sit the games next to each other, play the same game on 2 different screens.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is actually really neat.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, I got another thing. The Deadpool, I don't know if you saw Deadpool release. They released a for your consideration video for the Oscars.
I didn't see the video. I saw some of the ads for it.
It should win its own Oscar.
Yeah?
It's quite good.
All right, I'm going to have to look it up.
It's very funny. I don't really have anything other than that to say.
I mean, there's a chance that this could get a nomination.
There's no chance. Oh, a nomination.
A nomination. I'm not saying win. Holy crap, no. But there's, the more, if you follow the awards, all the awards that are going on. Like, this is always the trail leading up to the Oscars. If you're following all of it, it's actually, like, the numbers are starting to look more and more in its favor to get a nod.
Well, I feel like it should get a nod just because of what it's accomplished. You know? Being given almost no money and, like, tripling their profits.
Well, it's also a testament to the idea of taking material, being true to it, and being true to not just the source material, but just being true to what this movie wants to be and not trying to bend it around some sort of marketing ploy or trying to capture the broadest audience possible.
To anti-Green Lantern it.
Yes. You're going to just make the movie exactly as it should be made and stay true to the movie itself.
And market the hell out of it.
I
mean, there should be an Oscar for marketing.
This is the movie we made. If you like it, come and get it. If you don't like it, don't go. I mean, go see something else.
It's not all luck. It's mostly talent. But they got very lucky that it was as good as it was. Because I think most of the money they made was from the marketing. Right. The marketing campaign was phenomenal. Yeah. Everything about it was so funny. And you left the movie not feeling like the funniest parts were in the trailer.
You also led... not feeling misled. Like, so many times you'll have a marketing campaign for a certain movie, and you walk out and you go, that wasn't the movie I thought I was going to see. Yeah. You walked in knowing exactly the type of movie you're going to see. It's the exact type of movie you got, only better. Yeah. And then you walked out very satisfied.
Pan's Labyrinth was sort of ruined for me for that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched it since, but I watched it when I was in college in theaters.
I loved Pan's Labyrinth.
See, it was marketed as a fairy tale movie.
It is, yes.
And I went in there and I was like, I didn't know this was going to be about Nazis getting stabbed in the throat. Like,
I didn't know that either.
I wasn't ready for that.
I wasn't either. By the end of it, I was okay with it. Yeah. And I actually ended up really liking the movie. It's
Well, I think people didn't know how to market his movies at the time.
I mean, sometimes they still don't. But yeah, I totally understand that. And that's a good example of that. Sometimes they don't know how to market it and they're too afraid to market it exactly as it is. So they'll market it to one angle and it's the wrong angle.
Yes. So cool. I got one thing left.
Okay.
It's my last thing.
Let's do it.
They released a photo album of the Defenders cast.
Oh, I saw one photo of it's the them behind the thing with the graffiti with the public defenders. Yeah. That looks badass.
So it does, but we also got our first look at Sigourney Weaver, which it sounds like you miss.
I saw a picture of Sigourney. I don't know if it's a promotional.
It's the most excited I've been to see Sigourney Weaver since she was killing aliens in an upright forklift.
Oh.
What are you doing?
I'm seeing if I can pull it up.
Listen, it happens to a lot of guys, Chris.
Shut up. Sigourney.
There is no Chris. There is only Zool.
You'll get everywhere with me by making a Ghostbusters joke. Defender. It's Marvel?
Yes. Yes, it's Marvel.
I'm not asking if it's Marvel. I'm saying, shut up. Here's your first look at Sigourney Weaver.
Just looks like Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, no, I did see this photo. Yeah. I like what I'm seeing. It's one random photo of her, but it is... I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued in seeing it. Because...
the rumor has been that she's the villain.
Yeah, and kind of the fact that they're giving us a photo of her this early on and giving us a photo of her in conjunction with... Sorry. I just saw that photo came from an article on gaytimes.com. And now I just realized in my computer history is gaytimes.com.
I was going to say, did Google autofill? Is that how you found it?
Yes, it did.
And knew your previous history.
But not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, absolutely not. I will say, it's interesting because if I remember correctly, the picture of Sigourney Weaver is kind of like happy looking. Like she just looks like a chipper.
She looks kind of smug. She's looking a little. She's in what looks to be a really cush apartment.
Sure,
of some.
But it's not like like dark.
But what I was saying is that the fact that we're getting a photo of her with promos for the heroes, like it points to the idea that she's not just a small cameo. That she's not a small part.
Well, she couldn't be.
Right.
Sigourney Weaver's.
Hey, listen, she was in one scene in Cabin in the Woods.
One scene? Wasn't she in more than one?
Nope.
She was just in
that
you
last
just
scene.
ruined that movie for people?
Spoilers. She's in Cabin in the Woods. It's not even, it's the last scene, so it's not like, if you're watching it and you're like, where's Sigourney Weaver? You're going to have to watch the whole movie to get to it anyway, so screw you. And go see the movie, because it's a really good movie.
It is really good. Are you excited for Iron Fist? It's coming out in March, right?
Yes, I'm so excited for Iron Fist.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. Let's bring on Iron Fist. It's about damn time we get another Marvel series. I'm jonesing.
Left me hungry, Luke Cage.
Hungry.
Speaking of hungry.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Let's get some food.
All right, that's going to do it for the news this week. Oh, hey, Andrew.
Oh, no, I'm not prepared for this.
Hey, Andrew.
I need to write these down.
Hey, Andrew, I'm talking to you. Will you look at me?
Here, keep doing that while I write them down.
Andrew, you're not even looking at me.
What?
I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew.
What?
Where can they find us?
They can find us on twitter.com. Our handle there is Media Lunch Break. You can also find us at our website, themedialunchbreak.com. You can subscribe to us on YouTube or on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/themedialunchbreak. You can also subscribe to us on iTunes or Google Play Music, where, of course, the Media Lunch Break on all of those things. Give us a rating. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a 6 out of 6 stars or whatever. You can also find us on Patreon, where you can kick us a couple bucks or do whatever you want to do on there. And that is patreon.com/themedialunchbreak. You can also find us on our Facebook page. What is the link to our Facebook page? Do we have one? Is it facebook.com/themedialunchbreak or something?
Sure. Let's say it is.
Let's say it is for now.
Or just search. We're the Media Lunch Break there. That's 7.
It's 8. I think we have 9.
We have 9. Which ones did you do? I wasn't paying attention. My headphones feel really big on my head right now, and so I wasn't paying attention. You did. Did you do the email? You did the Facebook.
I didn't do email. You can email us.
Ah!
That was the first one. Good guess.
Boom.
You can email us at themedialunchbreak@gmail.com. So that's it. That's all of them.
Yay!
I did it.
You probably repeated a few. I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't at all.
Probably
Unless I stroked out.
Yeah. Hey, we never say this. Thanks to Brian Kirchner for our theme song.
Thank you to Brian Kirchner for the theme song. We use it every time.
Every single time.
Not that you or he would know.
Very true fact. Very true fact. Yeah, that's gonna do it for us for this week. Not this week. We'll have another one in a couple of days.
Soon.
But whatever.
This mini episode.
Half a soda.
Half a soda.
Half a soda? I'm gonna turn this off.
Minnesota? A mini soda?
A mini soda?
Minnesota.
I'm intrigued.
Please end this. Please end my suffering.
You know what? If you want to end your suffering, why don't you step in front of one of the shuttles outside the hotel? Brought it back around.
John Boy not gonna be good in his pilot suit.
It just gets worse every time. Every single goddamn time.
John Boyega.